And our guest for this segment, Mike Collier, Chief Meteorologist, Tulsa's Channel 8, and a true weather field expert, Justin Teague. Boy, it's good to have you guys here.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Mike, you and I are friends. I've known you forever.
Yeah.
Justin, I am so proud to make your acquaintance.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Because you guys in the field lay it on the line. I'll get to you in a minute, Mike. I want to take advantage
I don't blame
of
you.
this. You guys are out there where the rubber meets the road, and I got to tell you, if I were a younger man, I still wouldn't do it.
It's dangerous. I mean, there is a great risk involved. Obviously, the greatest risk is actually traffic accidents while we're out there with wet roads, low visibility. Oftentimes, it's dark and it's raining, so it is a risky venture. And as you probably are well aware, we have had some storm chasers that have been impacted by tornadoes in recent years. So.
You brought along some gear that you take with you. Would you mind to hold it up for the folks so we can get a tight shot and let you explain what we're seeing?
Okay, this is the camera that I use now. In the past, it was really about how big's your camera, how many features does it have.
I think on your set you have one of the older relics of the old systems.
So we had these big cameras and tons of equipment. Well, nowadays a lot of us are trying to downsize, so we're buying smaller cameras and we're trying to fit more into one package. So this camera is actually a 4K Ultra HD camera. And it has the ability to shoot 1080p, which is what I usually do because 4K is difficult to edit. But I have that capability, and it actually can stream live from the camera to a Wi-Fi hotspot, which then pushes it up to the station so Mike can see what I'm seeing. And I also I have an iPhone now, and this is cool because I can use a streaming app in here. And that app also allows me to stream.
So you have two stream sources.
Yeah. So I have my choice. I usually use this one when it's lower light. But I can stream and actually record concurrently to this iPhone. So.
Well, as a general rule, are you alone out there?
I am. I used to chase with a partner. I've been doing it for 20 years, and I've figured out what I can and can't do now. So I do what I can. I usually chase alone. If it's a real big day and it looks like a real big event, I'll try to find somebody to help me out. But I've built my vehicle around me. So I have navigation. Everything's right around me, so I don't have to look over. I don't have to play with my laptop. That was something that we had to do before tablets. We had to navigate from a laptop. Now, it's set up kind of like a cockpit of an airplane, just all right around me.
My hat's off to you because I don't care how sophisticated the gear is. I don't care how well everything works. You guys are still laying it on the line for the benefit of Mike and the station and the public at large.
It's true.
So thank you. Job well done, my friend.
And for me back in the station, how helpful it is to have someone with such great knowledge out there looking at what's going on in the field is so important to me. And if I have any success in this career, it's all going to be really because of these guys out there, my eyes out in the field.
Well, I don't know, Mike, that I'd go that far because I've been watching you grow, my friend, and the growth needs to be noted because you're really coming along quick.
Well, thank you.
And have been for quite some time. I'm very proud of you. And the coverage from this, we're taping this on Wednesday the 8th, and the coverage from Monday night and the way you all handled it was absolutely top notch.
Well, as I've always said, that's an incredible honor coming from you. It really is, and I appreciate that. And this guy had the money shot. I call it the money shot Monday night. He had the downtown shot as the storm was rolling through. I mean, it's great to have such team players involved.
Oh, you can't do without it.
Exactly.
Listen, while I've got you here, I want to talk a little bit about some of the things we're going through right now. We are in the midst, I call it, the great drought,
right?
If you will, because it's been here. And here's a layout that you were able to supply for us of what we're seeing. What is the yellow and the tan and then the red? Bring us up to speed.
Well, let's say the yellow is, things are a little dry. We're not too concerned yet. But once we start getting the oranges and the reds, that's when we're dealing with major issues for crops, for gardens even, just for natural grassy areas. And that's when we deal with the oranges and the reds. We typically have a very high fire danger, and that sure enough is the case. And I think people on an everyday basis that don't even involve themselves with crops, or they see the effects of it. For instance, the sunsets. orange glow has been spectacular, it's because of the smoke from the fires that have created that haze. So it's impacting us all. We're just maybe not as well as aware of the situation as others.
Yeah, you know, occasionally you'll see a Jerome Tiger sunset, but we're seeing them every day.
Exactly.
Every day. Now, one of the things I noticed after Monday's storm, Tuesday morning, my wife's car, it's a black car, was covered in ash.
Right, yep.
That's from the wind blowing in.
It's the fires that are going on out in western Oklahoma. The northwest winds that came in behind it just pretty much transported all that smoke and ash into eastern Oklahoma, and that takes it all the way down into southeastern parts of the U.S. as well.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Holy Toledo. Well, and we also have some precipitation outlooks, I think.
Yeah, you know, not a lot of improvement. We will see a little as far as just normal rainfall, which is good for us, but we need a lot. We need to be in the green. Unfortunately, you have to go well north of us to find the above normal precipitation. But when you combine it with this next map, that spells more trouble because we will see warmer than normal temperatures across much of the central and southern United States. And warm air helps evaporate things a little quicker. And when you have that warm, dry south wind, you know, the grass, the fields, the crops tend to dry out even quicker after a rain.
Well, I think all of us can probably tolerate the heat. You know, we'll get by. We'll make it somehow. But let me tell you something. There are farmers out there. First of all, let me back up on that.
Yeah.
The fires that we're experiencing have taken a heavy toll on livestock in this state.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, a heavy toll. Folks don't realize how many head of cattle we've lost. Second, if we are seeing, you know, these kinds of wildfires sweeping through, they're ravaging Johnson grass, other grasses that the cattle, you know, can feed on, and a second growth of Johnson grass ain't no good for anybody out there, you know, in the field. So we've got a serious agricultural problem that because of the weather.
Exactly.
Mike, do you see any changes on the horizon?
No, matter of fact, I see the summer actually getting even worse. Typically coming out of El Nino years, which we just came out of, we see an uptick, or a La Nina year, I should say, we see an uptick in the potential for hot weather in the summer months. So we're looking at June, July, and August to potentially be well above normal, where we see more 100-degree heat. You have the dry grounds in place. That just unfortunately spells huge trouble for us. And we can look back just 3-4 years ago with the horrific fires we had just west of the metro region, Creek County, just in a blaze. I mean, even my coworker, Keith Taylor, his house was burned down from it. So, I mean, we're going to see a huge impact from this, and we're just kind of scraping the surface right now on it.
So we're in for a long, hard ride.
We certainly are. We certainly are.
Well, one of the things I've noticed, and again, following what you do, one of the things I've noticed with both of you, when you talk about rain coming in, I know now, I mean, you don't have to beat me with a stick too many times. We got rain, fine, count on bad storms. Is that the new norm?
It is. You know, the extremes are getting more extreme. And we were in an extreme state as it is, but even my wife was the other day going, has it always been this windy? And yeah, you know, the wind comes sweeping down the plains. However, not every single day do you typically see average wind speeds of 25, 30 miles per hour, back to back to back to back. And that just goes with the extreme climate that we have now, and we're going to see some incredible intense weather through, I mean, the foreseeable future.
You know, I think, and I mentioned this because we've had you here before, I'd like for you, if you can, I don't want to put any demands on you, if and when Justin's out the next time.
Yeah.
If you could have somebody with him to shoot him.
Right, yeah.
So we could see video of him at work and get a more serious feel for what you go through when you're out there, Justin. I'd love to have that on.
Yeah,
Would that
I'd
be
happy
possible?
to provide that.
And he's the best guy to go with. I mean, last year, he, you know, not only is he a storm spotter helping people save their lives, but he became a first responder as well, helping some people that got hit by a tornado in a vehicle. And maybe you can just, you know, give a little story on that one as well.
Oh, certainly. If you'll remember, on March 30th, we had a tornado that started kind of in North Tulsa and crossed 56th Street North, went to Owasso. I was right on that as it developed and snuck in behind it. I felt like it was a safe place to be, to just follow it across the north side. Well, I came across a large tree across the road, and I considered turning around, and then I thought, well, I have four-wheel drive, and there really hasn't been much precipitation, so I'm going to wheel around this thing and continue to chase this storm. About the time I got down in the ditch to go around the tree, I saw a man stumbling towards me, and he had some blood on him, and he was reaching out for me, you know, asking for help.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, what's going on? And I looked down a little bit further, and there was a truck. And this truck, the back half of it was crushed, the back half of the cab, and then the tailgate, the whole bed, everything was just smashed. So
Holy Toledo.
I had a brief moment of panic, realizing that this could be really bad. So I grabbed him, put him in my vehicle, drove up to the truck, and there was two young children, one very young, and I think she was a teenage girl.
Able to get them out?
Yes, able to get them out, assess their injuries. I had them in my vehicle to keep them dry, and we called EMS, and I waited there with them. We made sure, you know, I reported everything, that the injuries that they were suffering from, and they were able to come out and transport them to the hospital, and
Job
they all
well
turned
done.
out okay. But
Job well
it
done.
was
Excellent.
Justin, Mike, thank you
Thank you,
guys
Tim.
very much. We
You're
appreciate
welcome.
and
Thank
we
you.
appreciate the job you do. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that greatly.
Give me $1. Still to come. So what have you got in your front yard? Well, we have an expert that has some great ideas. Some you're not going to believe when we come back.